Hey everybody, how's it going? Sorry I haven't posted videos recently. I've been busy with, hecticness of life and all that. But here we go again with the videos. So I thought I'd do a little battle stratagem to kick it off. The poll is open again. Vote in the comment section of this video for the codex when I talk about next. There'll be a list of videos in the of codices in the video description section. Those are codices I already talked about. So don't vote for those. And the poll will run until Monday night, considering the delay of getting this video up. So be sure to cast your vote. On the block today is Dark Angel Space Marines. They are a fun army. They're my army, the army that I started with, the army that I always go back to. I consider myself an unofficial expert of the Dark Angels, considering the extensive knowledge I have of them and use and experience I have with them. So hopefully I can provide some insight on how to defeat them. Their vehicles are just like other Space Marine vehicles, not much to say there. Anti-vehicle tactics will work fine against that. Before I talk about the Codex overall, I want to talk about Deathwing and Ravenwing. Deathwing is the Terminators of the Dark Angels, and Ravenwing is the bikes and the land speeders of the Dark Angels. Both are special units in the fact that they're both fearless, for starters. So let's talk about the Deathwing first. The Deathwing are Terminators. They're a 5-man squad, they're fearless, and they can mix and match the weaponry, meaning they can have a Stormbolt, the Power Fist Terminator in the same squad as a Twin Lightning Claw Terminator, and all that jazz. So you can mix the weapons together, which is handy for your opponent, because it makes them more flexible. So in dealing with the Deathwing, keep in mind that they can be mixed together. Be sure to know which squads are equipped how. That way you don't pretty much forget how they're equipped and end up getting screwed later on because there's a heavy flamer that's going towards your hordes and you thought it was just Twin Lightning Claws, for example. The Ravenwing are the Dark Angel Bikers. They're fearless, like I said. The bikes are. The vehicles aren't, obviously, because they're vehicles. They all have Scout, including the attack bikes. The bikes do. And the bikes have built-in teleport homers. So with Scout, they can outflank, or they can have a Scout move. They can be good harassing type of units. So with their speed and maneuverability, it may be a little bit hard to pin them down. If you have a good assaulting unit, try and bottleneck them, pin them down that way. I feel the bikes are strongest in the shooting phase, not really the assault phase. Not that they're weak in the assault phase, but I think they're stronger when in shooting than assaulting. So that leaves us with the rest of the Codex. So let's start with the shooting phase. In the shooting phase and the assault phase is going to be all about anti-Space Marine tactics. With the shooting phase, AP3 or better is what you want. Rending will help, of course, as well. If you can't bring weapons that bypass their armor to bear on them, because the Saiyans don't have that many of it, high strength weaponry is your second best option. It makes wounding Space Marines easier. Easier to wound means more wounds that can be done, which means overall more saves to be failed. So that will help you. Keep in mind, just like other Space Marines, the Dark Angels will probably break cover more frequently than other armies because they have a good stat line and good war gear. So that being said about the shooting phase, in the assault phase, being Space Marines, the Dark Angels are no slouches in the assault phase either. So power weapons, rending, things of that nature will help you. If you just are able to wound on like 3s or 4s or 2s, and regardless of toughness, then that will of course help you as well. But really, bypassing the armor is your best bet. Don't assault Dark Angels if you're not an assaulting unit. Like if you're the way I like to look at it is, if you're a non-Space Marine army that has units that can do the assault if they have to, but really aren't meant for it, don't assault Space Marines with those units, unless, of course, you got them outnumbered or something like that, or absolutely have to. So the same holds true here. Now that being said, the Dark Angels are a force of Space Marines that I feel is heavier on the shooting. which you don't really see that often. For example, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Black Templars, all good are all assaulting type of armies, all good at the assault, or I want to say good at the assault because that makes it sound like the other Space Marines aren't. They are better equipped for the assault. The Dark Angels don't have special rules or war gear that really makes them specialized with the assault, and because of that, they tend to fall back in the shooting role. That's how I've played them. That's how I've seen other people play them, and it works very well. Now that being said, that doesn't mean if you're a shooting army that you're screwed now. Because just because one army is also good at shooting doesn't mean you will now be ineffective. It just means that you're going to be fighting on semi-equal ground. But that being said, means the Dark Angels are now using more of their bolters and other weaponry. That doesn't mean they won't assault. That just means it's not their primary thing. I've used assault many a time to clean up a squad, and I've seen others do it as well. So you do have to be careful with that. Just because they seem to be shooting more doesn't mean they're never going to assault. Don't fool yourself into thinking that they won't try to do the assault later on, or else you may not move a unit out of the way or something, and before you know it, they're assaulting you. They can field special weapons in 5-man squads. The other tactical squads, some other codices can't do that anymore, so they can. That's one thing to keep in mind because they may do that for a couple of squads. It's not cheating, it's what they can do. They just can't put a heavy weapon in there. They need 10 men for a heavy weapon. So yeah, there's not too much to say about Space Marines once you go over the anti-Space Marine tactics. One thing I will make mention of, if your opponent is fielding a battle company army with elements of Deathwing and Ravenwing in it, they're going to have very good units mixed in with their army, but at the same time, it's going to be a smaller army. For example, I know one of the squads of Ravenwing that I use is 430 points, thereabout. That's a big chunk of points. Almost a third of a 1,500 point army. So, just to put it in perspective. So that's a lot. That's like 2 finely equipped tactical squads, practically. If not exactly. Or not exactly, if not actually, I should say. So, if you see your opponent having these guys, you know, like I said earlier, about what they can do and how to take them down, but also know that their army is going to be smaller than, let's say, a Space Marine squad that didn't take it, or a Dark Angel squad that didn't, army I should say, that didn't take that squad. So, something to keep in mind. Don't get fixated on the Deathwing or the Ravenwing, or the Land Raider or anything like that. If you get fixated, they can use that against you, to lead you around, and have the rest of the army pick you apart. Don't underestimate the Dark Angels army because it doesn't have 3+ storm shields or anything like that. It's not weak. It has what it needs. And remember, this Codice came out before 3+ invuln storm shields came out and all that good stuff. So just something to keep in mind. So don't underestimate it in terms of that. Anti-Space Marine tactics you gotta bring to the fore. If you don't have weapons that are like AP3 or better, or you don't have enough of them, and you're worried about, do I take this, or do I take a high strength weapon, or do I take an anti-tank weapon? Anti-tank weapons will pretty much work against Space Marines. It's not optimal, it's not like a template or anything like that, or a blast template, but that last cannon, or that bright lance, or whatever it is, that railgun, whatever, will bypass Space Marine armor. So, I'm not telling you to fire your railgun at the tactical squad instead of the Land Raider, but I'm saying, if you're unsure of fielding certain weaponry, because you don't want to be weak against vehicles, but at the same time you want to be able to chew through Space Marine squads, instead of taking the Strength 5 weapon that really can't do much against vehicles at all, take the Strength 8 or 9 weapon that's meant to take out vehicles, and should the enemy have a lot of vehicles, then you're set. Should the enemy not have that many vehicles in terms of facing down the Dark Angels, then you can fire that off into the squads, and if especially they're out of cover, really put a hurt on a powered armored guy or a Terminator or whatever. So that's pretty much it to talk about here with the Dark Angels Space Marine Codex. Keep in mind they are still Space Marines. They may not have super special rules for the assault phase, but they're no slouches at it. They will be probably be doing more shooting at you, which means they may stand their ground more. And if you're in assault armor, that means you're going to have to spend more time getting to them, which means they're going to be shooting you more often. So be careful with that. Other than that, both shooting phase and the assault phase follow anti-Space Marine protocols, and you should be okay, or at least have your best bet. There's no guarantee to win. But that's pretty much it for the Dark Angel Space Marine battle stratagem. Hopefully that was helpful. Remember, battle stratagem is a generalistic universal approach / look. That way anybody from any codex and any army list could take what I say and apply it to their own tactics if they so wish to do so. So anyways, that's pretty much it. And until next time, take it easy.